Hello students, good morning. Already we saw first part of principles of inheritance and variation. What we saw in that? Introduction, then monohybrid and dihybrid cross mainly. What is the ratio of monohybrid cross? Genotypic ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 1. Phenotypic ratio is 3 is to 1. Then dihybrid cross 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Yes, now we can see test cross. What is Then here we can see many subtopics. First one test cross in monohybrid and dihybrid. Then incomplete dominance. Already you know what is dominance. Here we are going to see incomplete dominance. Then laws of inheritance said by Greger Johann Mendel. Three laws: law of dominance, law of segregation, and law of independent assortment. Then dominance. We are going to see all these subtopics now. Yes, test cross. Test cross devised by Greer Johann Mendel for what purpose? To determine the genotype of an organism. To determine the genotype of an organism. Here, one parent must be recessive, pure dwarf. Okay? See the second parent, dwarf. But first parent may be homozygous dominant, that is homozygous tall, or heterozygous tall. See in this picture, the first one, the parent is heterozygous tall. In the left side, in the Punnett square, you can see capital T, second you can see small t. At the top you can see small t, small t. So one parent is homozygous recessive, the next parent is heterozygous tall. See in the second case, the top small t, homozygous dwarf, but left side you can see capital T, that is the parent is homozygous tall. So from this what we can understand? One parent must be homozygous recessive, but the next parent may be either homozygous or heterozygous dominant, that is tall. Here with the help of this, the crisscross also shown. See the first case alone, it is shown here. The parent is hybrid tall, so capital T, small t. Then pure dwarf next parent, so we can get only one gamete, but in this case we can get two gametes possibility. So what are the progeny possibilities? Capital T, small t, then small t, just like a parent. Here the ratio is 1 is to 1. This is monohybrid test cross ratio. Already you know monohybrid cross ratio is 3 is to 1 or 1 is to 2 is to 1 genotypic. But here we can get only 1 is to 1. Why? What is the reason? One parent must be homozygous recessive. So he devised what he told: with the help of test cross we can determine the genotype of an organism. Yes, the same test cross on dihybrid cross also. An individual of heterozygous, dihybrid means two traits are taken. Here also one parent must be recessive. Both traits are in recessive condition, so homozygous. The other parent is either heterozygous dominant or homozygous dominant. Here we have taken the heterozygous dominant. See, you know already the seed color and shape. Seed color yellow is dominant, then green is recessive. Seed shape round is dominant, wrinkled is recessive. The same thing here shown. Y, that is yellow color, capital Y. Then next letter may be small because it is a heterozygous dominant. Then round, so capital R. Then small r, Y, wrinkled. Okay. Then here small y, small r. Why? Because one parent must be recessive. So from this parent we can get only one type of gamete, that is y, or small y, small r. But from this side parent we can get, there is a possibility, 4 types of gametes. Okay, both dominant capital Y capital R, then last week wrote small y small r. So these two types. Then in between either yellow may be dominant or round may be dominant. So capital Y small y capital R. If you are understanding how to write, easy for you. So here the ratio is 1:1:1:1. In monohybrid test cross we got 1:1. Dihybrid test cross ratio 1:1:1:1. It is used to determine the genotype of an individual. Incomplete dominance. Yes, from the term itself you can understand. Dominance. See, in the monohybrid test cross, just recall. Capital T, one parent, homozygous tall, another parent homozygous recessive, small t. So, the individual in F1 progeny, all are tall because capital T and small t. So, we are saying F1 progeny all are tall because the dominant trait is expressed outside. Here you can see the flower, red R, capital R, that is a dominant character. The recessive character is white. So small r we put. Then from them the gamete is capital R, small r. You can see in this cross. Then the individual is capital R, small r, like a monohybrid cross only. But here we are not saying it is red, we are saying it is pink. Why? What is the reason? See, in the monohybrid cross, the progeny resembles one of the parent or one of the parent character is expressed, that too dominant character. But here it does not resemble either of the two parents, mixture of the two. Okay, does not resemble either of the two parents, mixture of the two. Because of that only we are saying it is pink. See then it undergoes self-pollination. Then we are getting the Punnett square is drawn. Here we are getting the same way, 1:2:1, the same way we are getting. But there we used to say 3 phenotypically tall. But here phenotypically we can't say 3 are red. We have to say only 1 red, then 2 pink, because heterozygous condition, capital R, small r. Then last one RR, small RR, that is white color. You can see it in the Punnett square. So from this what we can understand, 1:2:1. Genotypic ratio remains same, but phenotypic ratio changes from monohybrid cross. Because of what? Incomplete dominance. Their dominant play a vital role. So we told 3:1. But here phenotypic ratio also we are saying red, pink, white. So it is different from monohybrid cross. Yes, already we saw Mendel's law of inheritance. Gregor Johann Mendel, he only did experiment on this hybridization technique. Based on that, he come to the conclusion, and also he proposed 3 laws. His theory was rediscovered by Hugo de Vries and Karl Correns and Erich von Schermach of Austria in 1901. He told 3 laws. First one, law of dominance. Second, law of segregation. Law of independent assortment. Already we saw law of dominance and segregation are based on monohybrid cross. Independent assortment is based on dihybrid cross. Law of dominance. See, in the monohybrid cross, homozygous tall, homozygous dwarf parent. You can see in this cross also. Then gamete is capital T, small t. Individual is capital T and small t. This is heterozygous tall. Okay. Here the law of dominance play a vital role. Because of that we are saying tall. So according to this law, characters are controlled by discrete units called factors which occur in pairs with one member of the pair dominating over the other in a dissimilar pair. Okay. So here one of the parental trait is expressed. Then in the F2 generation, if it undergoes self-pollination, then F2 generation we can see the law of segregation. Okay. Yes, law of segregation. This is separation. See, in the F1 progeny, heterozygous tall individual, then self-pollinated. Because of that, from each parent we are getting two types of gametes. Then they are crossing, fusing. Because of that, you know, capital T, that is a homozygous tall. Then capital T, capital T, small t. So two times we are getting heterozygous tall. Then last one, small t, that is homozygous dwarf. So what is the ratio? 1:2:1. That is genotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio is 3:1. Here the law of segregation play a vital role. This law states that the two alleles of a pair segregate or separate during gamete formation. See T. Capital T separate, small t separate. So segregate or separate during gamete formation such that a gamete receives only one of the two factors. In homozygous parents, all gametes produced are similar. See, if we take capital T parent, then only capital T gametes. But if we take heterozygous parents, now see here, capital T, small t. So how many gametes possible? Two types, okay? That is only given here, but they are produced in equal proportion due to law of segregation. Law of independent assortment is based on dihybrid cross. Here two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid. One pair of character segregates independent of the other pair of character. See, round yellow, then wrinkled green. So they are like that. From this cross you can understand first parent is that is homozygous dominant, second parent is homozygous recessive. So we are expressing with the capital letters, capital R round, capital Y yellow. So two traits are taken for this parent. Next parent wrinkled and green. So small r, then small y. So what is the possibility? Only one possible type of gamete from each parent. So here capital R, capital Y, small r, small y. They both are fusing. So we are getting in the F1 progeny capital R, capital Y, small y. What is the nature? The parent is of course we can say dominant, but round yellow, but it is heterozygous. When it undergoes self-pollination, then each parent can produce 4 possible types of gametes. Because of that, we are getting 16 individuals. Here, each of these segregate independent of each other, each having a frequency of 25% of the total gametes produced. See here, capital R, capital Y, small y. So first we can write capital R, capital Y, 25%. Small r, small y, 25%. Next one, capital R, small y. Next, small r, capital Y. So 25. So all segregate independent of each other, then each having a frequency of 25% of the total gametes produced. Dominance. What is dominance? Diploid organism produces 2 copies of gene which need not be identical. See, for example, capital T, small t, they are not identical. But one may be normal gene, then other may be non-functional part, we can see. Suppose a normal gene produces a product P, altered version of it produce non-functional product, that is P dash, or no product at all. Altered version of the gene must not perform the functions that a normal gene perform. Okay, normal gene may not perform the functions of, non-functional type. Which one? Altered version. it may not function like a normal gene. It must affect the phenotype. The original gene is said to be dominant. The next altered version can be called as a recessive, or modified gene is called recessive. Yes. Usually in monohybrid cross, F1 progeny resemble either of the parent, anyone. But here in codominance, the F1 progeny resembles both the parents. For example, we can take blood group. Yes, how many blood groups are there? A, B, O, you know. Yes. Who is the universal donor? O blood group. Yes. ABO blood group actually controlled by gene I. This gene I has three alleles. What are they? IA, IB and I. Okay. A person possesses any two of these three alleles. Okay. Always alleles are in pair, you know. IA and IB dominate over the small I. But with each other, IA and IB are co-dominant. Okay. IA and IB contain A and B type of sugar, while I does not contain any type of sugar. Okay. Oh, blood group has neither of them. So we can say the gene is small I. Okay. Multiple alleles. What is multiple alleles? When more than two alleles control a character. See blood group, here we can say. More than two alleles control a character as in human blood group. Multiple alleles are even used in population studies. So there are ABO blood group. It is controlled by a gene I. I has three alleles. What are they? IA, IB, I. IA and IB are codominant, but small I, okay, small I only for what blood group? O blood group. I does not contain any sugar at all. Yes, it is given in your textbook also. Here you can see three different alleles. What are the three different alleles for the blood group? IA, IB and small I. Then six different genotypes. Then four different phenotypes. What are the four different phenotypes? While seeing outside, we can say if IA and I is there, we can say A blood group. IB and I is there, we can say B blood group. If IA and IB is there, we can say AB blood group. If both are small I, we can say O blood group. So this is the four different phenotypes. But there is a chance for six different genotypes. You can see in this table, the first case, you can see the two alleles, always alleles are in pairs. First one and second one both are IA. Therefore, the genotype is also IA. The blood group is A. Second case, IA and IB. So the genotype is IA and IB. Therefore, the blood group is AB. Third, you can see IA and small I. Therefore, the genotype is IAI. The blood group is A. Third, then fourth one, IB and IA. Therefore, IAIB blood group is AB. Next one, IB and IB. Therefore, IB genotype, the blood group is B. Next, IB and small I, therefore the genotype is IB and I, the blood group is B. Small I, two alleles are like that, then the genotype is small I, the blood group is O. Okay, yes. Yes, based on this blood group ABO, we can see one question. A child has blood group O. O blood group must be there means what are the alleles must be there? Small I and small I. Okay. Now next part of the question you see, if the father has blood group A, father has blood group A means he may be homozygous A or heterozygous. If he is homozygous, there is no chance for O blood group individual. So what can we do? Heterozygous father gene. So IA and I. Okay, mother has blood group B. Here also the mother should not have homozygous B. She also should have heterozygous. So IB and small I. Then from father and mother, if small I, both I's are joining, then there is a possibility of individual or the child receive blood group O. Okay. What do you know about O? O is a universal donor. Okay. How many of you have positive and negative? Yes. Mostly Indian population positive blood group only present. Only 7%. Our former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, she had negative blood group because of that only when she got gunshot, the blood group was not available. So she passed away. Okay. If they have negative blood group, they are more intelligent. Okay. So how many of you have negative? Okay, good. Thank you. We can see in the next session.